Dee doo dee doo doo dee doo 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 dee doo dee doo doo dee doo dee doo doo dee doo 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 dee doo dee doo doo. Hi everybody, my name is Steve Kozanewski and welcome to Cause and Effect. This week we're going to be talking about Amazon's Author Central page. And what this is a page where you're going to be able to track your sales, maintain your author profile on Amazon, and a couple of other neat functionalities. So if you are traditionally published, you may not be familiar with all of what you can access about your Amazon account if you've never logged into Author Central before. If you're a self-publisher, you're probably more familiar with this. So what we're going to do is, to get started, is we're going to jump here in your favorite browser and go to authorscentral.amazon.com. Now, I am based in the United States, so I'm going to the United States site. There are foreign sites, and what I do here in the .com does not automatically populate to the foreign sites. So I also maintain like an Author Central UK. That's the only one I maintain right now. But I could theoretically have a one for France, Canada, India, everywhere where there's an Amazon. There's the potential for Author Central. But today I'm just going to show you what I do in US because it's what I'm most familiar with and all that sort of thing. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to log in, and this is going to be typically your Amazon account and password, and you're going to log in there. So here I am. I'm already logged in, so nobody can track me down. And this is your home page. Nothing really going on here. So let's jump into the books page. Now, I've already added 4 of my books that are already out and exist here, and you all hopefully know about and have bought them all. And what I'm going to do today, if I was logging in for the first time, I would have to import each of my books. So I'm going to show you how to do that, because I actually do have a new book coming out. It's an anthology called At Hell's Gates, with a bunch of other great authors. So it doesn't actually auto-populate here to Author Central. Okay, I have to actually physically add my books in here. So what we do, it's pretty easy. You go to the Add More Books and you click on that. And you can search by either title, author, or ISBN. Now, At Hell's Gates is a fairly common title, so I'm not going to search for that. I could look up the ISBN because that's obviously individual to every book. But in my case, my name's not John Smith or Lauren Green or something. I have a pretty unusual last name. So if we search for Kozanewski, it's going to come up relatively painlessly. So here we see the books that I've added, and my other anthology here, Another 100 Horrors, I was not included as an author because there was 100 authors, and you can only include the names of 10 on Amazon. So for me to track anything on there, I have to add it to my Author Central, and then it will be included on my Amazon author page and all that sort of good thing. So here's the new one, the At Hell's Gates Volume 1, and you see here it says this is my book, so I'm going to claim this book. And it's thinking about it, okay, your book was successfully added. Please note that it may take 24 hours for the book to appear in your bibliography. So we close out of there, and you see I've got the 4 books I already know, and here it shows the one that I just added. So again, at Hell's Gates we have 17 contributors, and even more if you include editors, but only 10 names are going to show up as direct authors on Amazon. So we want to make sure that everybody that contributed gets the credit by adding it to their Author Central account. So if you were just watching for the At Hell's Gates anthology, this is good. You can stop here. For everybody else, I'm going to go through some of the rest of the functionality of Author Central. So your next slot is your profile here. And again, I've filled all this out before. I did this video today because I had the new book to add, and I wanted to show you guys how to do that. Filling out your profile is what's going to populate your Amazon author page, which you may not even know you have if you've never logged into Author Central. So here's my Amazon author page, which I think we've looked at before. And you can see this more or less mirrors what's going on here. So I have my biography that I wrote, and you can just change that by doing Edit Biography. My blog is actually shown through here. Here's all the blog posts that I had to get a feed burner on that, which that's complicated. I can't get into it right now. I couldn't explain it off the cuff if I had to. You can add events. I have done this in the past when I've had book signings, conventions, that kind of thing. So obviously this is just for a set period of time, so this does not, stay on your thing forever, and you have to keep up on it. But you can actually put events out there. You can, okay, so here's where you can get a personalized URL or URL. I don't know if there's a big discrepancy on what we call that there. So mine was simply amazon.com/author/Kazanewski. So what happens is here you see this complicated URL, amazon.com/Stephen-Kazanewski/e/ whatever that number is. I don't know. So instead of having to send people to that, I can tell them just go to amazon.com/author/Kazanewski, and it will redirect you there. Now, you can only do this once. Once you choose your shortened author page URL, you can't change it. So that's the only limitation of that. So make sure you choose well. You can add photos. I mentioned before there's differences between the foreign author centrals. In the UK, you can't include pictures of your pets. I don't know why. Some kind of UK law. So you see here's this picture of me with my cat signing my contract. I couldn't upload that in the UK. Little fun fact for you. And you can also upload videos, which I put a couple up there. Actually, I might have some more that I could probably put up there. So good thing I checked in here today. And you can put in your Twitter account. So like I said, your profile just mirrors your profile here, except for your likes and your books, which I showed you how to, add your different books. And within 24 hours, that new At Hell's Gate anthology is going to populate here. But otherwise, you can see my latest tweets, see my latest blog posts. Here's my video, here's my other videos, here's my picture, here's my other pictures. And I think down here, there's customer discussions, and then down here somewhere is where the events would be if I had a current one. Sales info. So here's where we're going to see. I don't really use this because this only tracks paperbacks. But there's this thing called BookScan. You can track your paperbacks. You can see what they look like, so on and so forth, if that interests you. And if you're traditionally published, it may, and you may have a ton of paperback sales. All of my publishers are indie, and we primarily do ebook sales, so it's not very sexy here. But what is interesting here is the rank page. So when you click on your rank page, you actually see your rank as an author. And then I have this chart here that's showing in a line graph where I've been as an author over the past month is the default. Let's take a look at the all available. So, back here in September of 2013 is when I was first published. And what this is tracking is all the books that you have sold contribute to my rank. Okay, so the lower the rank, the better. Everybody wants to be number one. So you see my current rank here is 210,825 out of however many millions of authors there are out there. But there have been times, this looks like the highest here, I've been up to 2,000, which is a pretty respectable number. I'm not Stephen King. And this just shows basically the average. I don't know how exactly Amazon determines it, but they determine how popular you are as an author based on the sales of all of your books. So that's why it's important to add things like your anthologies and everything, and make sure that your books are all up to date. So you get credit for that as an author. Now, this rank also breaks down your individual books. Here you can see how it would break down by genre, if that's of interest to you. All of my books are generally the same genre, so that's not very interesting to me. But I guess if you were a very prolific writer and you wrote across different platforms, you could use this functionality here. But mostly what we're going to want to do is click on the rank over time and look at your individual books. Okay. So here you see the current rank on each of your books, and we see we just added the At Hell's Gate, and that hasn't populated yet, and it's also not selling yet. So it would be a null set. It wouldn't even be like 10 million. It would just be like no rank. But it will populate hopefully within the next 24 hours here. So one of the reasons why this is helpful is because if you go into your actual book page, so if I actually click on Brainiac Jones here, and this is one of my novels here, and if you're a young pup and up and coming, and you're going to be constantly clicking on your Amazon rank to see how it's rising. So if you actually go to your page and you scroll down and you see where you are, and here you see I'm at 350,000, which is not that great. You're actually kind of hurting yourself, because every time someone clicks on your book without purchasing it, the Amazon algorithms take that into account, and having clicks without purchases negatively affects your standing in the algorithm. So going to Author Central lets you check your ranks without negatively affecting your algorithm. Now, from here, we can also look at the history of the rankings of our books. So let's take a look at the Ghoul Archipelago here. And again, you can see that we have a line chart showing where my sales are. And it defaults to 1 month, and we can go back to all available. And you can see here how my sales have been, see how the sausage is made here. And this chart is confusing at first, but what I like to tell new young authors, if they're asking me about this, is every peak is at least one sale, and every plateau is at least one sale. So here, where you have your first sale on October 15th, okay, that's a sale. Then I have no sales for a couple days. Then I have a peak, okay? So that was at least one more sale. And then the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day. So as long as they're plateauing, that means you had at least one sale that day. So when you come over here, and obviously it's peaking higher, that means I probably had 2, 3, 4 sales that day. Who knows? And it keeps going higher and higher and higher. So every time that you have a peak or a plateau, that equates to at least one sale. No one knows quite how the ranking works, but they say a good rule of thumb is that if you are at 100,000, that means you've sold 10 books this month, give or take. That's all anybody really knows about this. And then you can go and you can see your different formats. So this is my Kindle format. Then it's going to be different for my paperback. And again, peaks and plateaus, and it's all the same stuff, but you can look at your different formats. The next functionality of Author Central is going to be your customer reviews. And this is, again, I explained about how if you click on your actual book link without purchasing it, that can negatively affect your standing in the algorithm. So again, here, if you see that you have new reviews and you want to see what they said, you can come here to Author Central and see your new reviews and either look at them in short or in full. So here, Christine's latest review of Bring Eater Jones, just expand it out. And read your reviews here. This is not super helpful because it's, I think, at least 24 hours behind the times. So you see, this one is September 15th. Today is actually September 17th as I record this, and I know I've had reviews since then. So again, if you have an itchy trigger finger, you have to see your reviews right on time. You're going to have to go into your page and click on the reviews and, suffer the whatever tiny negative consequences of it that there is. So that's basically the functionalities of Author Central, and thanks for tuning in. Hope you found it enlightening, and we'll see you next time.